We live in them to look out for each other. Have you ever started your day dreading something small, like an empty coffee pot or your kid leaving their lunch behind? Then, as night falls, you find yourself in a hospital, pleading for your child to pull through. All because someone in a collared shirt thought a cardboard package ruined the neighborhood's charm. That's my story. I'm Rachel Whitmore, living in Pine Brook Lakes, a neat suburban enclave near Wilmington. It's the sort of place with uniform mailboxes, pristine shrubs, and strict rules about when Halloween decorations can go up. I didn't pick Pine Brook for its HOA regulations. I chose it for calm, secure streets and kind neighbors for my son, Jonah. Jonah's 7 and has a rare metabolic condition I still struggle to name correctly. In simple terms, his body can't process protein properly. He relies on a refrigerated medication every 24 hours to prevent his system from spiraling. Missing a dose isn't just a minor issue. It means a trip to the ER. It means IV drips, blood work, and the risk of seizures. It's watching your child's body fail him in real time. After 6 months of battling insurance with forms, appeals, and tears, we finally got the medication covered. It arrives monthly in a sturdy white insulated box, plastered with red labels screaming urgency medical. Refrigerate now. Do not touch. The package practically shouts its importance. Normally, our neighbor keeps an eye out for the delivery, but that morning, she texted about a dental visit. I wasn't overly concerned. The box always arrives promptly, and it's never been a problem. Until it was. At 12:18 p.m., my phone pinged with a delivery notification. The Ring camera captured the courier setting the box neatly by our welcome mat. He even snapped a photo. Everything seemed perfect. But when I got home at 5:05 p.m., drained, shoes in one hand, keys in the other, the porch was bare. No box, no note, just an unsettling quiet that screams something's wrong. My first thought was theft. Porch pirates strike even in Pine Brook. I opened the Ring app, scrolled back through the footage, and there he was. A man in a blue polo khakis, clipboard in hand, an HOA badge dangling from his neck. Trevor Harmon, the HOA's compliance officer. He saunters up, eyes the box, scans something with his phone like it's a barcode, then picks it up and walks away. No call, no neighborly, "Hey Rachel, what's this about?" Just gone. At 6:21 p.m., an email landed in my inbox, subject Regulation 7.4 violation, parcel removal. I've never loathed an automated message more. Per Pine Brook Lakes Homeowners Association Regulation 7.4, any item left unattended on visible property for over 30 minutes may be removed without prior notice. Item discarded. Discarded. They didn't move it inside or try to contact me. They tossed a 4,700 temperature, sensitive shipment of my son's life, saving medication because it didn't fit their vision of a pristine porch. I called the OA office. Straight to voicemail. I stood in my kitchen, still in my scrubs with my badge pinned on, hands trembling, staring at the counter, willing the box to reappear. Jonah was in the living room, humming to his cartoons, oblivious that his next dose, the thing keeping his small body stable, was likely in a dumpster because Trevor thought it looked unsightly. That night, sleep barely came. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the fridge's hum, thinking how that box should have been inside it. Jonah was still okay for now. I adjusted his meals, kept him hydrated, stayed upbeat. But I knew we were racing against time. By morning, I was back on the phone with the HOA. This time, someone answered. Pine Brook Lakes Homeowners Association, Denise speaking. How may I help you? I'm Rachel Whitmore, 47 Willow Band, I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. I need to talk about a package taken from my porch yesterday. A pause, a couple of clicks, then her voice. This is Margaret Dwyer, she said as if addressing royalty. Margaret, Pine Brook's HOA president, is like a Stepford wife crossed with Miranda Priestley. Flawless hair, terrifying command of bylaws. I explained the situation, the medication, Jonah's condition. She didn't flinch. Yes, our compliance officer removed an unattended package left out for over 30 minutes, she said. Regulation 7.4 is clearly outlined in the handbook. I was floored. You threw away a box clearly marked as urgent medical supplies. We don't open packages, Ms. Whitmore. That's a liability. We aren't responsible for checking every unattended parcel's contents. If it's left out, it's subject to removal. You didn't even knock or ask. Then I heard Jonah in the next room, calling for me. That night, around 9:00 p.m., he said his stomach hurt. It's not unusual, but his voice was off, slower, almost slurred. By midnight, he was throwing up. By 12:30, we were speeding to the hospital, me still in my scrubs. The irony hit hard. I was pulling into the same hospital where I'd worked a double shift 36 hours earlier. But now I was the mom with a sick kid and no medication. They admitted Jonah for fluids and monitoring. The beeping machine's a sound you never get used to. I sat by his bed, watching his chest rise and fall, while on hold with the insurance company for the third time that hour. begging for a replacement shipment. It'll take 5 business days, ma'am, the rep said, voice flat as paper. He doesn't have 5 days, I shot back. He barely has 5 hours. I understand, but the system? No, you don't understand? I cut in, my voice breaking. This isn't about a delayed couch. My son could die because your system and some neighborhood rule book decided looks matter more than lives. They didn't help. They never do. By day 3, Jonah was stable, just barely. I hadn't slept more than 2 hours total. My phone clung to 2% battery. I was unraveling, and no one seemed to care. So, that night around 11 p.m., I opened our neighborhood's Facebook group, full of gripes about mulch shades and grass length, and I posted. I kept it brief, raw. I don't usually share here. Margot arrived at court in a navy suit, armed with a binder of rules, still acting like it was a minor parking issue. Her lawyer called it a misunderstanding. At the second hearing, I showed the ring footage. Trevor, clipboard in hand, taking the box without a second glance, the red labels glaringly clear. I looked at the judge and said, that box was my son's lifeline, and they treated it like trash. At the final hearing, I wheeled in a dolly with a mini fridge. Inside was an identical package, same labels, same cold pack. I set it on the table, slow and deliberate. This, I told the judge, is what they discarded. This is why my son landed in the ICU. The room went silent. The judge leaned back, rubbed his forehead, and asked Margot, do you honestly think this rule helped your community? She had no response. We won. The HOA was held liable for negligence and ordered to revise their policies to protect medical deliveries. Margot stepped down the next morning. Since then, HOAs nationwide have rewritten their rules, some quietly, others loudly. Parents from Ohio, nurses from Nevada, even a grandfather in Texas reached out, saying, thank you for voicing what we've been too scared to say. Jonah's doing okay now, back at school, sketching superheroes, sticking glow in the dark stars on his ceiling. He drew a picture recently, our house, our fridge, and a small red, labeled box in the corner with safe, scrawled above it in crayon. That's all I ever wanted, for him to feel secure. So, here's my question. Where's the line between rules and common sense? When does a policy stop protecting and start harming? What would you have done? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me your story. If you've ever been steamrolled by a clipboard and a rulebook, maybe it's time to speak out. Because sometimes, one voice is enough to remind everyone, we don't live in neighborhoods to show off.